The film industry is still reeling from the passing of actor Shona Ferguson. He was 47. Ferguson died from COVID-19 complications on Friday. He played the role of Dr. Leabua on the popular SABC soapie Muvhango. He also appeared in Generations as Ace and in Isidingo playing the role of Tyson, and of course many others. We are now joined via Zoom by theatre and veteran television actor Sello Maake Ka-Ncube, who has been a colleague and a close friend to the late Shona Ferguson. A very good afternoon to you, Sello, and thank you so much for making the time to be with us this afternoon.
Good afternoon, Onati, and to the viewers.
Sello,
go ahead.
I was going to say this. Obviously, this loss has hit South Africa very hard, notwithstanding who Shona Ferguson represented in the industry. You've lost a very close friend, not just a colleague.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I should start by, expressing my, heartfelt condolences to a sister of mine as well, Constance. And the passing of Shona is it's a huge loss, but first and foremost to his family. And one thing that he has done was, and I say that I put that in that order because first and foremost, what Shona managed to do was build a family first. And then after that family was built, then he ventured into the creative industry space. They say, dynamites come in small packages, but this time this dynamite didn't just come in a small package. It really came up in a very huge and stacked package. And he came and he really had a huge influence in a very short space of time. And from starting as an actor, he went further on to become a producer. And in that space as well, he came in there and he just impacted on it in such a way that even now, we still live with the effect that, of his work. Shona was a workaholic, a family man, a man with, if you saw his body and how well built he was, I think that's how big his heart was like. And it is a huge, huge loss to South Africa and I think the continent, because also he was even beginning to make strides even overseas,
What perhaps makes this loss even more harder, I suppose, for many of us South Africans is just that it is during a pandemic where a lot of South Africans have lost loved ones, very close people, and we keep waking up to sad news on a consistent basis. While we know that the vaccination program is happening, it's still a very debilitating collective pain for many South Africans. I can only imagine what the family is going through. You're very close to Connie.
Yes, but death, if you know the impact of death, even in, just an ordinary family, when somebody passes on in the family, I remember even as a young man or as a child, when I think my uncle died, I think I was probably around about 12, and he was an uncle that I was very close to. When that happened, that hit me, and death hits us very, very, very hard. But during this pandemic, I think this period since the pandemic has been just a grief-laden period, and we've been, and I wonder how we're going to actually survive this, because we're hearing heavy news one day after the other, and we keep losing people that are impacting on us, as a society, but also even close ones. In a period of 3 weeks, I lost my younger brother and my mother. So we are living through a very difficult time, and I think we really have got to be aware of the effect of this and be mindful of observing the protocols of COVID-19 and going out out there, all of us, to make sure that we vaccinate. I basically I'm just awaiting to pass on basically like a 30-day, because I got infected myself with COVID, and just allowing myself to clear it so that I can avail myself to take the vaccine. But yeah, it is a very difficult time, Nati. And one thing that I'm even regretting sometimes, keep postponing things. I was going to have an interview with him, because I've started a podcast, open up with Sello Maake Ka-Ncube, and we're going to sit down and have a chat and just keep on impacting on the world and sharing and man. And in fact, I'm just reminded now, as we're talking, that we were actually been talking of how we're going to be working things going forward. But yeah, it is a very difficult time, Unati.
Sello, perhaps before I continue, let me take this time to also send my condolences to you for losing your mother and your brother. But Sello, talking about Shona and what an amazing man he was at just 47, a lot of people in the industry and even in the country saying that he was a visionary. I mean, he had, as you said, sights in the continent and going even beyond the continent, and he was also a role model and mentor to many young actors and actresses.
Absolutely. I say, I'm 40 years in the industry, but, I concede that the impact that Shona has had is much larger than mine. And I think also it just comes to show that some way, somehow, even as because I'm already like on the 60, I'm 61 now. There's a way that we've got to allow even the young people to come even much more into the industry, because somehow it has to do with energy. I don't think I had the same energy that Shona has, even though we were working together. But it is just that thing that young people are the future, and we have to recognize that. And as a young person, basically, because there is just so much, somehow we older people, we are very nostalgic. We always think of the past, where we have been. Just wants to live for now and for tomorrow, and live for now, but impacting on tomorrow. And Shona was just that. He was a force that emerged, I would actually even say from nowhere, because when you look at his, where he came from, Shona didn't just basically like come straight into the industry, but somehow coming through, as, into a family that was getting married to Connie. And then thereafter, he, found a way of coming into it, and he hit us very strong in the industry, and he impacted on the country in an amazing way, and yeah, it is a great loss. It is a huge loss in the industry, and we will feel the impact for some time.
Sello, thank you so much for coming on and just remembering Shona Ferguson with us and reminding us who he was. It's not a very, easy thing to do. A lot of his friends, colleagues and family obviously heartbroken and couldn't come on because of just the immense loss. So we thank you for your time. Again, condolences to you, to the industry, to his friends and everyone who loved him, and especially his family, and we are obviously thinking about his wife Connie and the children. Thank you so much for your time. All right, that was theatre and veteran actor joining us there, Sello Maake Ka-Ncube.